Welcome, everyone, to today's live stream, episode number 21 of our Avowed Ranger gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, admin notes. As you can tell, this live stream, just like last week and next week, which will be the final episode of this live stream, is taking place at a different time. As I mentioned yesterday during the live stream, I'm seriously considering moving this live stream up to this time slot, the 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which right now is GMT -5. I am thinking about relocating it here permanently. I have it from 2 to 5 p.m. here simply because that gets me the most uninterrupted time between the end of the Saturday live stream and the beginning of the Sunday live stream for me to do things on my weekend. I realize that it's much harder from overseas viewers to watch that 2 to 5 live stream because it's taking place very, very late at night overseas. And I find that I don't end up doing as many things as I thought I would during that continuous time. Now, there may be times when I will need all of that, but I think I'm going to move it back here. Now, how this kind of plays in is that I don't think we're going to finish this series today, but we are definitely going to finish it next week, and that probably will not be a full live stream next week, if I had to guess. I think we've got 4 hours left in this live stream or something like that, probably. So we're going to be taking a break for a week, I think, maybe, and then doing a one-off live stream of a game that is in demo right now, and I want to show it to y'all, but that should take just that 1 week. And then I'll be back to maybe take another week off and then be back to a new live stream. And I'm going to be publicizing this coming up this week, but y'all should know what it is if you've paid attention to the previous polls. It deserves its time with as many people who have voted for it in the past, just not enough to put it into the top spot. So we're definitely going to give it a shot, and I'm pretty sure that that is going to stay at this time slot here. Like I say, I'll kind of play it by ear that first few weeks and see how it goes. But pay attention to the About tab on my channel and the Post tab, as well as my social media, which is linked in the About tab, for upcoming information about time slots and what's going to be playing and that sort of stuff. So hope to see you there as we continue into a new live stream. So I think that's it on admin notes. So on our recap, last week we jumped back into the main storyline, and we've got a lot to do here. We finished up at Mount Forja, and that brought us back to, after the devastation wrought by the eruption of the volcano, that brought us back to the keep. And now we need to head out and really go looking for the garden and begin our exploration there. Now, the garden is an area unto itself. It is like a 5th zone, but it's not nearly as big. But there is quite a bit of content in it, and there's some easily missable content in it, especially when it comes to your companions. So let's go ahead and jump back in here, and we'll kind of take stock of where we are back here at Solace Keep, and then we're going to head out and take a look at the garden for the first time. So you can see that Solace has had some issues
do not
here.
panic. Simply exit the keep quickly and calmly, and we're all going to die. Calm yourself.
Do I need to sell off? I do.
The feeling unit.
So Okay. And I don't... How many lockpicks do we have? $38, that should be enough. I'll just pick these up just because I can. And now let's go into our inventory and let's break down all of these things, which we're going to be using to upgrade other things here. So okay.
Oh, Marius! Praise Abaddon! You are alive!
What's happening? Why's everyone running around like blessed fools?
The volcano erupted. Any minute now, we're going to be flooded. We're evacuating. Kostya's gone to open the lava sluice gates, but they've been disused for so long. When Forja erupted, I thought... Oh, my boy. I'm so glad you're alive. Unless you have come back to help us, Envoy, I don't have time for you. We're minutes away from being overrun by lava flows. I have to get my people out. You must leave now. We told you, we don't know, and this is hardly the time to be asking.
The Steel Garrote would tell you otherwise. We have reason to believe there's a path under the keep. Be thankful you're talking to us rather than them. They were planning to storm the keep.
They're all dead, by the way. You're welcome.
The Steel Garrote were marching on the keep? How? Why would they think the garden was beneath Solace? He's gone below to open the sluice gates. Nandru designed the gates to direct the lava flows away from the keep, but Forja hasn't awakened in centuries.
Could Kostya have told the Steel Garrote about another entrance to the garden?
No. If such a thing existed, I can't believe it. He wouldn't. We took an oath to Nandru. The garden was our sacred duty, and he betrayed us. I can't believe I didn't see this coming. I was a fool. I have failed my duties. Kostya. I knew he was making overtures, but I didn't think he'd go that far. The ambassador has not responded to Kostya's overtures, has he? I made sure of that when I threw the ambassador's replies in the forge fire. I understand how Kostya could be tempted by false notions of freedom and prosperity, but... Oh, this is entirely too much. How could he have done this? I can't believe Kostya handed the Steel Garrote a secret we protected for hundreds of years. We took Mayu. Who knows what he'll do with the sluice gates? He cares so little for the keep that I worry he's going to have us drowning in lava. I will. Abaddon stay my tongue if I betray him, but I will. I will show you where Kostya has gone. If you find that he's doing anything other than opening the gates that would protect our home from the lava, I would ask that you stop him.
Mihala.
I do not wish to see him dead, but if he would risk the keep, then he risks our lives. I cannot suffer those who would harm us to live. Now I must return to the evacuation, and you must go on your way. Let's hope we don't need your wishes. If your arrival is indeed a message from Nandru, I hope he remembers his people well. I hope he is proud of us. And Marius, make it back to us in one piece.
I assume that's an order, Commandant?
Head through the door in the smithy. You'll find Kostya in the lava tubes beneath the keep. Go now, and go with the gods.
Okay, so this is going to start our dreams divide us still. So we need to find the entrance to the garden in the lava tubes. And
Outsider, what can I...
make sure that we don't have anything in here. Might as well pick these up. We are going to get a few more chances to be able to upgrade items. And here is where we're going to start.
They went through this door.
Okay, now the lava tubes is like the entry area, which is going to unlock a pathway that's going to lead us to the garden. So we need to make our way through this first here. And it's a fairly extensive underground pathway. It's fairly linear, but there are some locations that you need to head off the beaten path for.
It's odd, but there's a beauty to this place. Maybe because it's a place in Gallowayne's tusks I've never been.
Let's keep moving. I'd rather... I breathe in too many of these.
We'll do a little exploration here. And we're going to be able to see a lot of these different places as we continue our explorations. Like I say, it's fairly linear, but not entirely.
That's getting high. We shouldn't stick around.
Okay, and there's nowhere to go out here. The quest marker wants us up there. And you can see we're in a no fast travel zone as well. Okay.
I think I sprained my shoulder.
Alright, so we'll do a little cleanup work in here. I don't think there's anything else in here.
Come on, we don't want to be down here when Kostya does whatever he's planning.
Kostya left them behind to die. Blessed Korba.
Now here you'll recognize this is that room that we were just in with the secret wall. So there are places like this that will let you know that there's secrets that you can backtrack to. Okay, now here things can take a little bit of a divergence. Okay, so we do have something to reach over there. And I jumped too far. Easily fixed though with some grog. And I do need to get my health back up. Okay, so you actually can get down there by falling down onto those. You don't have to though. We're going to take another way down there, but this is where I mean by falling down there. We're gonna head this way and around the corner. And we're going to get into a fight here because you can see.
Let's go.
Hello, you guys! One for you!
All right,
Everyone okay?
easy enough. And then here's the way down to where we were just looking at.
Silenced.
So it lets you avoid this fight, is basically what it allows you to do. Hey, don't forget this area here. And it wants us to walk across here.
Kostya isn't going to wait around for us. Keep moving. Here they come. Good one.
Things are starting to jump out at us quite a bit more. We have Maxims of the Pargrun in 6. And you're going to find more of those as we go.
They wound us, and we wound in return.
going to constantly be on the lookout for little side passages and things like that to make our way into. And seeing that we do have somebody waiting down here. Now you can take this fight from up here if you'd like. This is one of the ways to be a little more safe about this fight. Otherwise, you're going to come in from here and go this way. It's not a... I mean, this fight isn't terribly difficult, but there is a priest here that will heal him up. So I'm going to actually try and prosecute this from here. I didn't do it this way in my personal playthrough. Yeah, and he's too far out of range. Oh no, he's moving.
Next one's mine.
There's the priest.
On my last leg. I can't. Back on my feet. Nice shot. Stand a chance. Appreciate it. That's all of them.
All right. So it takes a lot longer to prosecute the fight from up there, but it is safer. I'll give you that.
Watch your step. Even you wouldn't come back from that fall, envoy.
Alright, so let's take a look at what's down here. So on Sebelius, just a lot of coins. And a superb wand +2, which we'll be breaking down. Okay, now here you need to walk around to the side. I don't think you can... Actually, I don't know if I can get this without triggering it. I think I just need to walk up, escape out of it. Yeah. As you move up to the chest and open it, and it's going to poison you. So I don't think there's a way that I know to disarm it. It's this. No. Jeez. It's stepping on this thing in front of it that triggers the trap. And like I say, I don't know of a way to disarm it. So. Oh, what do you know? There it is, right there. That would be it. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I ran into the same thing on our personal playthrough, and I went and looked around and couldn't find anything. I just must have missed the switch. And here's why I bought a bunch of extra lockpicks. You get Ancient Alacrity. Now, this is probably the best bow in the game. The slows, they hit enemy about 15% for 5 seconds. You can upgrade this to all enemies around the hit enemy get slowed for 15% by 5 seconds, or the enemy that you hit gets slowed by 25% for 8 seconds. And then power attacks give you plus 20% move speed for 5 seconds. Since you're always doing power attacks, it's a really, really good bow to have. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this on me as we go, but there's not really a whole lot of times, especially now, that I'm going to be needing a bow. And then here, okay, I'm gonna look around this time. I didn't know that happened when you opened the door. I thought it was when you came up to the chest, but it's not. It's just when you open the door. It doesn't poison you nearly as bad because you only get hit once. Now, there's another chest over there, but we won't be able to get that for a little bit.
Quiet, Nimdut. Right in the blind spot. Take him down.
I should be able to finish him off.
You're too late.
And yeah, he did. So I can't fight him when he's hidden back there. There he is. Now they should be able to finish him off. Yep.
Who's ready for more?
Okay, so let's head down here. Pick up the chest. And again, this stuff we're going to get here in a second. head this way. This is up above where we were just a second ago.
We need to keep moving if we're gonna catch Kostya.
Endless night. When will the sun rise?
Alright. So we're going to stay up here. Okay. Oh, I thought that chest was up here, but it's down below. Okay, now I want you to go that way. Alright, nothing special. Nothing hidden. And that's where we're going to end up going. And you can see we've got another named enemy waiting for us. You cannot prosecute this fight from here. There's a priest that stays way back there that heals Borodin.
Kostya doesn't care who dies. That Korba must be stopped. We should move.
Okay, there's the priest. Right there.
Right behind you.
Okay, so I'm going to take out that priest first. And I'm going to do it from up
This
here.
whole place feels
There's
like it's going to come
Borodin
apart.
right there. But I'm going to take out the priest here.
Nice!
And once you get here, instead of from over there, here you can one-shot the priest. And now this is a fairly straightforward fight. Borodin is strong, but we can stun lock him. Just don't let him get near you, and you'll be fine. That little fireball attack he has is nothing special at all. But his melee attack, when he gets up close, he does this 3-hit combo that it can't one-shot you, but it can get really darn close. And here are these chests that we saw when we came in way over there. We're gonna head up the other side over here.
If Kostya knew about this, he'd be selling tickets.
Here it comes.
Alright. Now we're ready to open this door. Okay, now in here we're going to just have to head down. None of these doors work or go anywhere. And there's nothing on any of the floors to explore, pick up. So you can just head all the way down. And this is as far down as you're going. There's nothing down there. And no other exits of here. But here...
Fui-tu!
is a jump down into water. So another point of no return. Down here at the bottom, you can pick up a few things. I don't think... No.
My sister, soul of my soul. How did you find me here? I have been here for so long. My memories are tattered. They fall apart when I look too long at them. There was a man called Nandru once, beloved of a terrible god. I remember it all. I feel Sabadal's mind beneath yours, swimming in the deep. You should run. That was the name they gave themselves, stolen from the ancient souls whose deaths gave rise to them, to us. We were little more than appendages to them. That is why I must ask you to destroy them. They shield you from the truth of what they are. The Dream Scourge has existed as long as they have. Don't you see? It is their infection. You, my sister, who are more brave than I, go now to the garden and hang the gardener from their tree. You need only walk a little more. You are nearly at the end. You know, I always meant to die down here. To siphon my soul into a lonely pillar, disconnected from the stone that makes our world. Disconnected from them. I only hope that Sabadal releases you to the same long peace. I do not know my end. In that I find a peace beyond any even the true gods can dream of. Do not thank me. Only do as I asked. Destroy them, sister. And when you see Wodika, tell her I said hello.
You okay? You went away again, but this time seemed different.
Envoy, you alright? We lost you there for a bit, but not like before.
So, this is the soul of Nandru here. Nandru has the same type of interactions, or had the same type of interactions with Sabadal that we do now, and he wants us to end Sabadal. We're going to try and take a different way around that, but he is of a unique perspective, yes, I would say. because he's known Sapadol from the beginning.
Kostya's already proven himself an enemy of Solace. Whatever you choose to do with him after we stop him is fine with me.
Okay, and there is Kostya. There on the...
Sluice gates ahead. Let's find Kostya, fast. Lava's high. We gotta hurry.
Okay, these are the sluice gates here. The lava's building up. We need to open them up to allow the lava to flow out. But we need to have an interaction with Kostya here. We're going to drop a save.
Good, you're here. Help me destroy this winch. We can't risk someone turning and opening the gates. If the keep falls so that we might live, so be it. I figured you might have. Bloodthirsty. You people just can't help yourselves. Me, specifically? No. I only provided them access to material from the living archives. The books and records that the novice brought to them were what revealed the secret. By the way, is that novice still alive? And what of the Steel Garrote? Should I assume they're all dead as well? Guilty as charged. I was the one guiding Dolna. Mihala's sin is that despite her preoccupation with traditions and oaths, she has no curiosity. I had all the time to figure out what books I needed to acquire for the Steel Garrote. Then I had Dolna, our young novice, steal them from the archives for the Steel Garrote. I assume you didn't let the Steel Garrote or the Inquisitor survive their search. And so you brought it back here? Among the Wardens? It doesn't matter how it works. It was not present in the tusks until your people arrived. Oh, perhaps this is right. Another reason to destroy this place and go. This is how it should be. So long as the keep stands, my people are trapped here. Doomed by an oath to a dead man.
No one should be bound to a pile of stones. Certainly not because of a centuries-old oath.
Our people were nomads for ages until we built the keep. When it falls, we'll be free to explore the world again. I will not watch my people rot here for the sake of a pointless oath. Then my conviction only grows stronger, Envoy. Nandru never wanted what was best for us. He built us a tomb and abandoned us to it. Do not speak his name to me as if it could mean anything to you.
Well, he has a point. But it's not worth letting Solace fall to prove it.
You, of all people, are speaking in favor of the suffocating grasp of tradition.
I'm talking about not destroying our ancestral home just because you don't like Nandru. You're just as blinded by those traditions as Mihala. Have the courage to leave if you want, but don't force everyone else to.
Ha! Finally! Proof she's got a spine. Well, Envoy, now's your chance. Are you going to be a good little minion and do as she asked? Or will you let me save my people from themselves?
A life for rubble, blood for the prison of old ways. We twine.
Stand down, Kostya. This just isn't your day.
So be it. And you are so close. The entrance to the garden is just beyond this door. I always knew it would come to this.
Watch yourself. Nice!
Ostia is not that strong. It's easy just to take out his bodyguards first. Okay, and now you have a few options. You can do nothing here. It's optional to do anything with the sluice gates or the mechanism. And here you have Counselor's Garb. Now the Counselor's Garb is plus 50% stealth attack damage, which is really nice for that Nova attack at the very start of your hit that you're making out of stealth. It's really good. The 5% damage reduction just brings it up to something close to what medium armor is going to be. And then plus 3 additional damage reduction is not a whole lot when you're up at 70 damage reduction. But here we also have a chest we can unlock. With more crafting supplies and the final record of Old Solace. Now from here again you can do nothing. Open the sluice gates to save Solace Keep here, destroy the winch to doom Solace Keep, or you can just leave. I'm going to save Solace Keep.
It's done. Solace is safe. Thank the gods.
Well, that's that.
Okay, and that's something that Kai wanted us to do, and I'm going to follow his guidance here in his home. So I don't think there's anything else out here, just to head up the ladder. Okay, now this is going to unlock a fast travel beacon here, which you didn't have access to previously.
Never thought I'd be so glad to see
We've
those
been
blessed
down here,
walls.
but we didn't have access to it because that thing that just disappeared was in our way. Okay, and we've been down here where this door is. Now, we're not going to go there. We have an optional to speak to Mihala. And we can fast travel back here really easily, so let's go do this. And then we're going to officially enter the garden. And I really wonder... Hold on, I'm gonna go look at something. Okay, so I found the name of it. Ah, okay. That's why. Okay. I was wondering why we were missing a godlike power. And that's because we destroyed the Naku Kubel ruins. Normally I have 4 godlike powers down there at the bottom. I've only got 3 right now, so I was wondering what it was. If you save the ruins, you get a godlike power called the Severed Branch, which gives you maximum movement speed, and it makes this run here quite a bit easier. You can just trigger it and move up here, but that's the only thing I ever use it for. So I'm not gonna miss it.
We're alive! We're alive! Yes.
I still can't believe that sucker.
What happened to Darren? Is everyone all right?
I even considered supporting them.
Thank you. I cannot explain how afraid I was for my people and our home. Perhaps so. Either way, I understand now the nature of my errors. It will not happen again. Here. I once was this artifact's custodian, but I failed in protecting the keep. This belongs to one who has proven capable of guarding my people. I wish so much that things had gone differently. Marius, could I speak to you?
Right, did she just ask that? Or am I having another nightmare? Good. Let's save the hugs and tears for another time. Okay, let's hear it.
I'm so glad you're safe and that you're surrounded by good people.
All right. Waiting for the but?
There's no but waiting. That's all I wanted to say. Truly. I am genuinely happy you found friendship, Marius. You always deserved more than the world gave you. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, you've always given me more than I deserved.
It was a true thing.
So, got some closure there between Marius and Mihala.
Hi. Thank you. You need some?
Okay, so... Okay, we'll break these down. And you got the Bastion of Solace from her. Blocking is a 25% chance to inflict fire damage on the attacking enemy. This is a quite weak enchantment at this level, at the time you find it. The plus 75 maximum health and plus 50% maximum stamina are actually pretty good. This is about a 20% increase to your max health and max stamina to max health, and like a 30% increase or a 40% increase. No, 30% increase to max stamina for me. Now, if you've gone the fighter route where you would be using this, then it's quite a bit less. It's about 10% each one, because you would have been investing in might and resolve here as a fighter, so you'd have a lot more stamina and a lot more might than I do right now. So it's kind of underwhelming for when you get it, to be honest. Let's head out here. And we're going to fast travel back down to the garden. Now, you do not need to... traveling to the garden and entering the garden is not a point... was not the last point you're going to be able to do anything. So, as far as upgrades and that sort of stuff, you've still got time to do that. There are 2 party camps inside of the garden. Now, going into the garden is a point of no return. So you won't be able to get back out here once you've gone in, but you're not completely kept from doing things. Okay, so we're going to save here. And let's just check Our journal, yes, I forgot. We need to go to, well, no, we don't have to do that. We can do that inside of there, because all we need is a party camp to be able to do that. And we're going to get one right when we go in here.
I feel crazy saying this, but Kostya was right. We should have let Solace keep fall.
Crazy is one word for it. You really think you can just burn down someone's ancestral home?
Dearie, the keep isn't a home. It's a prison. And now the Pargrunen will never escape.
Solace is my home. I still don't get why any of you feel like you have a say in this.
But you left.
Because I chose to. Kostya doesn't get to make that decision for everybody.
If Kostya doesn't, Mihala will.
Exactly.
The Pargrunen have always had the choice to leave, and we've seen very few take it, dear.
Amalia and her people took up arms and turned to banditry, and they still weren't allowed to leave. If anything, I imagine Mihala and her traditionalists will only make it harder to leave now. You know your own mind. There's something to be said for that.
True. And you've a date with the gods soon. We can only hope that you'll make better decisions.
And that's not all. Not to spoil the moment with good news, but I doubt the rest of the island has been quiet while we've been looking for the garden. Things have only gotten more tense since Fjord, and the Steel Garrote probably hasn't been doing us any favors on that front.
Especially when they're led by a woman who doesn't seem interested in staying dead. Not to mention, after we take care of the Envoy's little god problem, we'll still have an empire bearing down on us. We should be so lucky.
Can't say I'm too excited about just walking into the garden. I grew up learning I needed to protect that place, but it never felt like more than a children's tale to me.
I hear you. This island is weird enough when all we have to worry about are vengeful plans and soul-altering corruption.
Am I the only one who's looking forward to the garden? We're pioneers, stepping into the great unknown, a land of mystery.
We have to remember to love them in spite of their lack of proper enthusiasm, dearie.
Can you imagine? An untouched spiritual wilderness just waiting for us. I have a theory about the garden, or a warning, depending on how you want to look at it. Sapadal has been imprisoned a long time. The garden will be a reflection of their dreams, their nightmares, their madness.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw visions or hallucinations, and not even the fun kind.
Sanity won't get us through the garden. Madness opens the mind to discovery. So madness is what we need right now. Before we go any further, I have to ask you something. You told the Inquisitor that you intend to free Sapadal. Set them loose upon the world. Is that still the plan? Everyone deserves freedom.
I could make an exception for a god with the power to destroy us all in a tantrum.
Sapadal is responsible for the spiritual health of the living lands, and the island has suffered for it. No matter what the Inquisitor said, I don't believe there's a right or wrong choice to make here. Just the one you believe in. Just one. Remember, we're stepping into a realm that is both physical and spiritual in nature. If you can call it nature. There's no telling how long we'll be gone. For all we know, time could run backwards in the garden.
Not a chance. We're a crew now, so you're stuck with me until the end. Marius?
I told you I'd be with you till the end. I don't go back on my promises. What about you, Giatta?
You're not going into the garden without me. I have to see this with my own eyes. Yatzli, if you feel like running back to Quilichi, now would be the time. No one would think less of you.
And tell Quilici that I missed out on the most exciting part.
Fair weather or foul.
I plan on wandering the garden whether I'm traveling with you or not. I have to find out what the big deal is.
Agreed. I'm not waiting in camp while the rest of you have all the fun. Hope to see you out there, Marius.
Well, let's go then. We can't keep your god waiting.
So there's our little pep talk. And we need to go around and have a conversation here.
Envoy, you're probably here to see how I'm doing, yeah? Well, I'm doing great. I always knew my home would destroy itself from within. I just never thought I'd get a chance to stop it. Right. If you get any more sappy, I'll think you've turned into a tree. But enough of that. You have a lot to do, and I'm right behind you. Right, changing the subject. Let's make sure they're not listening. The only one we haven't talked about is Yatzli. I don't know. Things have changed a bit, I guess. She's not so bad. I mean, she's loud and impulsive and always trying to get herself killed, and she keeps saying things to get a rise out of me, Envoy. But joke's on her. No one's gotten a rise out of me in years. But other than that, we can get along. She can be sweet, too. When she's... You too.
So, yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get Marius's training to trigger here.
Marius.
Envoy, I've seen Mount Forgia erupt before, but never like that. It's like it was angry, like it was screaming in pain. I don't know what really happened, but I assume Sappadal was involved. Oh, they overreacted. I see. Just a tiny baby god throwing a tantrum, blowing up the land and killing everyone. Poor thing. They must be terrified. Anyway. Until next time. Envoy? Blacked out at that Audra and the lava tubes beneath Solace. But it seemed different somehow. Right. I actually believe you. This is madness, Envoy. You spoke to the founder of Solace. I bet it was. You could finally complain to someone about all the face stuff. People in Solace always claim they're speaking the word of Nandru. And here you are, actually hearing from the man. Doesn't even really matter what he said if you ask me. There are hundreds of Pargrunen who'd give anything to hear Nandru's voice. Blessed stay impressive is what that is. Envoy, what do you need?
Okay, and I
If I
think
must.
that's it.
Envoy, what do you need?
Yep.
Not before I've done some reading.
I'm starting to suspect that every single leader in the Living Lands is incompetent. Truly. Is there no vetting process? Hopefully those in Solace Keep will choose their leaders with more care in the future. But we should check on Marius. I'll make him some soothing perfume, but I think a few words from you would help too. Lovely. Another point in your favor, Envoy. I do not envy the Pargrunen in any case. Meeting that council? Gave me a new appreciation for Vidaru. Barrett's balls. What a nightmare. We're losing focus on the important things. Things like the garden. Oh, come on, Envoy, let's get going. How can I help, darling? Always a pleasure, Envoy.
Okay, let's just continue
How
with the
about you?
conversation, see if everybody
How
has
about
anything
me?
to say.
We really must stop meeting like this.
Okay, nothing there.
Sweet dreams, Envoy.
Let's place our last fragment.
It will sunder all the living lands if we do not put a stop to it. I know. I felt the lives lost. It is inexcusable.
The forces of nature must be kept in balance. This abuse cannot go unpunished.
It is young, fragile. So were we once. But the kith of the living lands cannot chart their own path if they live in fear of its whims.
Kith have no such resolve. The Akita are a pack without a head. They will not find one in a beast that cannot restrain itself.
You think so little of them.
Whatever I think of the place of Kith in the world, they cannot forever be quarry.
No. No. What do you mean? We are too late. I sense a great shift in the Audra. One of our siblings has moved with terrible strength. What have they done?
Then may the hunt begin.
Not bad. A little
Okay,
art to brighten
so
up the camp.
you can learn a little bit more that Woduke kind of acted without consulting everybody else in the god world. So now we've completed the Huntsman spoils here. So critical hits deal high bleed accumulation. Killing an enemy gives you plus 4% damage reduction for 10 seconds, which is nice. You also get plus 20 movement speed for 10 seconds. Increases your damage against prone enemies by 75%. Not all that useful. 2 might and 2 constitution though, giving you additional damage. Right now, we're getting plus constitution and plus 2 dexterity. But everything else, critical is still high poison damage as opposed to bleed damage, and that unaware enemies by 25% is what we're getting. I'm actually going to change over to this just so we'll have every one of them done, or every one of them utilized in the playthrough.
Oh?
But if you grind it up and add some...
So, this is it. The spiritual epicenter of the living lands. Where it all began, and where it all ends. For so long I have looked out on a horizon full of possibilities. Now that it's here, I'm too scared to breathe. Oh, why am I so anxious? You may be right. When I gave up, I stopped worrying so much. And now that we're here, it's obvious I don't know what I want anymore. Do you remember when Manto Pastor sent you after the heart of an Adragan? That was nothing compared to this. We are standing in the beating heart of the living lands. Just imagine what we can do with it. I almost turned my back on animancy. And if I'm being honest, it was a relief. But now that we're here, who am I to reject my upbringing, my potential? My parents were going to build a better world for animancers. That dream was their legacy to me. You and I have come farther than they did, to an impossible place where anything can happen. Anything. I'll try to remember that. I don't know what's going to happen, but you've had my back since the beginning. I won't forget it. Well, that depends. I know a few spooky stories about the living lands. They may or may not have anything to do with the garden.
Okay, but if something goes bump in the night, I'm waking you up.
Let me think of a good one. There are so many, I can't decide. Which do you want to hear first? I know one about a ranger's dream, one about a haunted well, and one about a golden city. One sunny day, a ranger took a nap in the woods of Emerald Stair. He awoke to a forest of dead trees, the night sky full of unfamiliar stars. After getting his bearings, he walked in the direction of Fior Messivernal, but the settlement was gone. In its place was the most beautiful garden. Hills bursting with flowers. The grass as soft as Valiant silk. Enchanted by this vision, he bent to pick a rose, but its thorn cut like a knife, severing 3 fingers. Then, a voice filled his head, shouting, "Go now, before the land takes you, body and soul." He awoke in his own bed, a wilted rose clutched in his 2-fingered hand. It's nonsense, of course, but that's why I like it.
Okay, you can continue on with the stories, but there's nothing else really in them.
I must admit, I had my doubts about Solace. It was like a dungeon, except the wardens were the prisoners. You could have helped Kostya destroy the keep, but you left it standing. Why? I agree. A decision like this belongs to the community, not the ambitions of one man. Even if Solace isn't going anywhere, I think your arrival was a sign of changes to come. Wherever you go, you break people out of their habits. You banish the old ways. Or perhaps you don't give yourself enough. Wherever that power comes from, whether it's your heritage or political status, it's a terrible burden. I don't envy you, but at least you keep things interesting. Pleasant dreams. Let me get this straight. You spoke to the spirit of Nandru, a godlike, same as you. What did he say? Any advice? Any words of encouragement? That doesn't bode well. I should have seen this coming. Never listen to the dead. They're cynical, full of regret, and determined to make us all miserable. Thankfully, you're still alive. Fate is in your hands. See? The future is looking brighter already. No one is closer to Sapodal than you are. Nandru lost that privilege when he died, which means you alone can judge the god of the living lands. Your opinion is the one that counts. A caged animal lashes out at friend and foe alike. For what it's worth, I think you're going to be fine. No matter what you do about Sapodal, it can't get any worse. I wish I could say the same for the living lands. Not before I've done some reading.
And I think that's it. We'll see if Kai has anything.
When you find Sapodal, I hope you tell him how much I love what they've done with this place. I'm a man of hidden depths. What's not to love about floating islands and a spectral tree? Besides, as divine prisons go, I can imagine much worse. And Sapodal definitely isn't docile. Not from what we saw on Mount Forja, or outside the ruins of Nakukubel. Aha. I've heard that one before. Usually before a lot of tears, a lot of drinks, and a lot of, I should have known better. Still, you taught me that a person can grow beyond their flaws. Why wouldn't the same be true of a god? I hope you're right, because we are all in trouble if you're wrong. You know, if Sapodal were only a smuggler, assassin, or bandit, I'd be right there with you. But knowing they could end us all with a temper tantrum puts things in perspective. I guess we've all got our limits. And I don't envy you having to deal with the loose cannon of a god. But I envy even less the mess you're going to have if, I mean, when, we escape this place. Lucky thing your Emperor sent his best representative as his envoy, right? You'll have your work cut out for you. And some days you wake up and the deck of your ship's covered in bird shit. You can clean it up or you can step in it. That's the choice. A lot of people aren't going to make that distinction. especially when your Ambassador Heelguard hosted Ludwig in Paradis for as long as her assistance was convenient. You may have averted the attack on Fjord, but this is one situation where it's the thought that counts. And yeah, I know that's on the Steel Garrote, but it's not lost on anyone that your people despise animancy. Not when Heelguard banned the practice in Paradis. Oh, I wish I were finished. You helped Ludwig destroy Nakuku Bell, and while most people don't give a tarnished skate for godless ruins, they'll see that as a powerful demonstration of siege weaponry. One thing I've learned about war: strife and distance have a way of reducing nuance. All anyone else is going to see is a threat display, on the doorstep of the Living Land's best cannoneers, no less. And then there's Solace. You might have saved the keep, but no one's going to talk about the disaster that didn't happen. They're going to talk about why Mount Forja erupted after all this time. I don't think anyone else is going to understand the indirectly. Fairly or not, a lot of blame's going to be laid at Adir's door. And if I had to guess, I don't think Heelguard's been helping matters while you've been out here. If and when we get out of here, we're walking into a powder keg. And you'll have to choose a side. That's the part I don't envy. Yeah, those were your orders. And if you make it back, you'll be the godlike Adiran who survived an assassination, treated with local leaders, faced a god, and stopped the Dream Scourge. That's a powerful symbol indeed. I admire your principles, but don't underestimate what they could demand of you. Look, I've been there. I fought for Rauatai's interest in the Deadfire for longer than I like to admit. I lost my stomach for it eventually. That's how I wound up here. But I will tell you now, I never could have fought my own brothers and sisters. I hope that's not what it comes down to. But I'll understand if that's a line you can't cross. I don't mean to burden you. It's late, and you've still got a god to face. Just know that whatever you choose, I'll fight alongside you. I'm with you to the end of this. Anytime. Good night, Envoy.
Okay, so let's see if Kai has anything else to say.
If we make it out of this place, we'll have stories to tell. Wonder if anyone will believe them. I barely plan further than the next meal, and you're asking me? I don't know, Envoy. I just try to take each day and each battle as it comes. And you can see where that's gotten me. But I think it's possible to be too prepared. That's a better way of putting it. You know what all of us think by now. Ultimately, you're the one who has to decide what to do with Sapado and where your loyalties lie. My advice? Get a good night's rest, and when the moment comes, follow your instincts. And I stand by it. Next time you need to find a bakery, I'm your man. You're the one who found a god's prison. I hear you, though. It's easier to give that advice than to take it. But look at it this way. Whatever you choose, you'll end the Dream Scourge, and you'll give the Living Lands a future. And I'd wager that's better than where we are now. Try to get some rest.
Okay, so let's see if we can do any meal crafting here. So we can't make any more black broth, so I don't think we're gonna need a whole lot else.
Does anyone want to share a
So
scary
let's look
story?
at upgrades.
No.
And again, this isn't going to be the final time for us to be able to do upgrades either. So let's craft everything up. Okay. And now we can look at our upgrades here. So I definitely want to upgrade Heaven Strike again. I'm looking down at the bottom for how many glasswood branches this is going to take, because this is going to be the limiting factor for the most part. I think the next one I need like 16 of these. Yeah, that would take almost everything I have left. I need 14 for this and 8 for one of these. Can fully upgrade Berserker Scale. And I'll fully upgrade that.
Why not? We've got...
Okay, we're going to put this away. We're going to keep Ancient Alacrity. And I'm going to get rid or put the Gambeson of the Grand Empire away. Okay. So I have one fully upgraded weapon and one fully upgraded armor. That is going to get you an achievement for each one of those, if you don't have it already.
Got everything we need. The crackling campfire.
And then here are the Ancient Alacrity enchantments. Weight of Eon slows the hit enemy by 25% for 8 seconds, or slows nearby enemies by 15% for 5 seconds. So you'd be gaining this to all nearby enemies, or slowing a specific enemy for 25%. I find Weight of Eons is much better. You can use this to slow down enemies that are specifically focused on you, as opposed to your friends. And then once you've taken out the ones focused on you, then you can use it to slow down the ones around your friends.
Well, I liked Giatta's story.
And now we're going to officially start exploring the garden. Like I say, we are not going to get through all of the garden today. We will have more to do on this next week. So we have a point available here. We're going to focus more on constant recovery. My companions... Okay, and then for me, I think I am going to up that 1% chance there. Okay, so 63% base critical hit damage. Add on to that the 50% critical hit damage and the 5% critical hit chance that I get from that. I'd be at 68% and 145% critical hit damage. So that's the build, everybody. So now let's start taking a look through here. Now the garden...
I wonder if Yatzli brought her ladder.
The garden is... there are parts of it which are very linear, and there are parts of it which are not linear at all. And we need to kind of take our time exploring through here. And remember that you can kill these things now and get some small amount of supplies from them. Okay, and now you can kind of see what the garden is. That's where we're going to ultimately end up.
Gods, this is the place.
Okay, but you can see we already have a spot to branch off here.
Aye, aye.
And this is going to be a theme walking through here. Is you're still going to be picking up crafting supplies, and that's because, again, we do have more opportunities here to do upgrades. So make sure you search around and pick everything up so that by the final set of battles you get into, you'll have all the upgrades that you need or want. Because now we're going to be finding legendary crafting materials laying around on the ground. Like I say, this is kind of a fifth area, so to speak, in the game.
Is he really marginal? I get the feeling I don't feel like. Just like the good old days.
Okay, now we're gonna have to head down here, and you can see that we have a black bear down here. We have some other enemies too, but this is where Dream Thralls. We're gonna find both Dream Thralls and other enemies down here, and sometimes they're gonna be fighting against each other. Oh, that guy went off the edge. But he's still lootable.
Ready, aim.
Okay, and like I say, now we're going to be finding all these tier 5 legendary upgrade materials in here, so take advantage of them. Okay, we will eventually end up down there here in a minute.
Right.
Here,
how did I know
another
we'd be
point of no
jumping into
return.
a giant pool of water today? Free to me, you.
We're going to eventually be going around behind me, but I think I'm going to go do it now. So this room here is kind of a branching point of various things that extend off and around it. So here... the reload animation got me there. And here we're going to find the first piece of the Wild Walker armor. Hey Rudi, hey Em, welcome. Oh, thanks for the support, Em, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So the Wild Walker set is interesting. It's light armor, so receiving an elemental status applies that status to all nearby targets. So if you're taking fire damage or poison damage, it will apply that same status effect to everybody else, to the enemies around you. The plus 20% fire, frost, and shock accumulation is really where this armor shines. It's not enough for me to give up the critical hit chance and the blood rage perks, but it is a pretty good armor. If you're inclined to go down that route, I'm just not going to. And I need to be careful because there are parts of this that I don't even remember. Because it can be a little confusing in here. But this is the way back into the central hub here. Okay, so now we have another spot to go over here. And you see we have a passageway here. Now you can't open this passageway from this side, I don't believe. As this goes into the wall and kind of disappears. It gets opened from the other side. But then Giatta is here.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I... What is the meaning of this? It can't be real. This is an illusion. A joke. Tell me we're both seeing the same thing. I was afraid of that. Why am I cursed to see this again? Why does the memory follow me wherever I go? Don't be ridiculous. Whoever is responsible, I'm tired of the bullshit. Step forward and answer for yourself, coward!
Godlike of Sapadal, long have we awaited you.
Finally, you've come home.
How is this not the strangest thing that has happened today?
Oh my gods. They're alive? How? Where would I even begin?
Giatta Castell, welcome.
Wait, you know me? How do you know me?
For centuries, our whispers filled the silence. Then we heard your mother's call.
My mother? You... heard her?
She reached out to us, using the tool you now carry.
But that would have been years ago. The first time she used the phantasmal focus. The only time she used it.
We heard, and Sapadal answered, saying in a great voice, "We are here. You have found us."
But when Sapadal speaks, the living lands trembles. The voice of a god can be a terrible thing.
No. This can't be. What exactly happened to my parents? Tell me, please. I need to know.
Sapodal wanted to be heard, and in so doing, twisted your family in body and soul, broke them into a more suitable shape.
Sapodal does not know the limits of their strength. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made? Do you have any idea what my life has been since your little mistake?
After the incident, your parents were like us, and we took pity, so we helped them move on, as they wanted.
In the end, they thought only of you, their pride, and their love.
That's it. That's really it. The answer I've been searching for all these years. Sapodal destroyed my family. I don't hold you responsible. I don't even know if I hold Sapodal responsible. Your god has the intelligence of a scatterbrained goat, but that isn't their fault. It's simply how they came into being. I know they are. My mother and father would not have wanted this. A good Animancer embraces death, and they were the best.
We are companions, toys, diversions. Sapodal fashioned us out of dreams and memories.
I can't believe it never occurred to me. They're animats. Ancient vessels held together with duty and loyalty. Their design is unusual, organic, much like the garden itself. Sapodal's work. All this time, your god has been making imaginary friends, drawing pictures on the walls of their cell. It's almost too sad to imagine. One final question, spirits. What is this? Why are you trying to ruin my life again? Is this your way of haunting me? What is it you want?
Well, that was 4 questions, but sure.
We want to apologize on Sapodal's behalf, and for the part we played in your sorrow.
They want to apologize. I came to the garden for answers, not to offer forgiveness. Was it a mistake? Because no matter where we go, the gods can't stop themselves from hurting us. Our lives are a game to them. For once, I'm going to heed my own advice. Listen to what my heart tells me. If you seek forgiveness, look for it within. Don't ask me to give up any more than I already have.
We understand. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. And thank you, Godlike, for bringing her all this way. The time has come for you to find your patron, as you were meant to. May the living lands receive you with open arms. Farewell.
Goodbye. We need to talk about this.
And that is the first of the pushing back the veil quests. There are going to be 4 of them.
Closure.
One for each of your companions that you have here. They are missable, so you might not end up completing this depending upon how well you follow the quest marker and that sort of stuff. This one I can't get out yet, and I think this one comes from the other side as a way to get back here to the center area, and another way here that you come back in this way. So of this one I guess you can get from here because the switch is right here. Yeah, this one allows you to get out this way. And here we have the Charm of Bones. This is the last of the summoning charms that you can get. So summoning a trio of skeletons to fight with you, they're actually pretty powerful. But again, I'm not really focused on that for what I would have to give up to do it. We will be coming back through that door after a little bit though. Okay, there's nothing down below us, anything like that, so we can head back on here. So now we've gone that way, which brought us out up there. We went up this way, which brings us right back out here. This is the door where it wants us to continue along. But there's one more place we can go look at. Just look at, though. And that's here. There's a way to burn these, but Kai isn't with us. He's not available to us. We cannot throw anything down here, so we couldn't throw... and we can't attack down here, so there's no way to burn these. You burn these from the other side. And again, that gets you another way to get back here to the campsite. Okay. Okay, and I don't think you can get it there. There's nothing up there anyway. So now we can continue on through the door here, and the Megfolk. We're going to have a conversation here.
I see the disciple has found her way into the cell.
No. Clarion Steel, we know this voice. Why is she here?
I'm everywhere my tools have mouths to speak.
Out. Out. Her voice pierces our skin.
Look at this place. A quagmire of your parasite's worst instincts. Can you even begin to grasp the forces that you tamper with? Help? It has forged the iron of its own restraints. Do you think you're special, with your god's thorn in your side? Do you believe you can hold dominion over chaos itself? When even the collective fury of the real gods could only confine the sniveling creature to this wasteland. You couldn't possibly believe we would not intervene.
It is true. She twists the knife. The seas run red with memory.
In time, the gods felt the wretched powers seeping through this land. Its madness would consume us all if it was not contained. Chaos is a blight. It must be scourged before it spreads. A pity that its followers could not be reasoned with. The poor godless, worshipping the very thing that subsumed them. We could not excise the rot and spare the roots that nourished it. A regrettable consequence of a necessary war. History followed the course of law because I ensured it.
Why does our prison not protect us? Help us! Silence her!
Listen to its tantrum. It knows neither order nor sense. Adir is the only thing holding back the tide of entropy. Then they will keep applying the rod until it understands. But there is still time. You can succeed. where Ludwig failed. Face your false god and end its reign of terror permanently. Very well. I cannot force a child to bend to my will. But I will not stand by and watch you undo my work. You should have thought more carefully before you broke your oath to the Empire. Let this be a lesson to you.
Never understood Wodika's appeal. Still don't.
I have nothing to say. That was insane.
Yeah, Wodika is the problem here. One of those strike first and ask questions later types. And that is obviously what has led us to where we are now. Okay, and we do have some enemies down below here.
You take lead.
Alright, so we'll wait for that electricity to subside a bit.
Good fighter.
And here we have another legendary chest. Now, we need a sarcophagus key for this, and we're not going to get this for a bit. But this is something that you'll want to remember to come back here for once you get it. Okay, and now back in this main area here. So heading through here. We want to go here. Up and around this other side. Oof. Almost a soap rock there. Okay, now this here, the point of no return for now, but we're going to unlock a path to get back in there like I told you. Okay, and then there, we should recognize what that is. That's a Megfolk, and there might, I think there's only one in this fight.
I like
and this one's damaged. Okay, we definitely want to get Marius to stop this in its tracks. Okay. And here a whole lot of legendary crafting materials. Okay, and that's what you're going to be getting from the Megfolk when you kill them. That one was just by itself and it was damaged. However, we're going to be getting into fights with quite a bit more of those, and they're not going to be damaged. And like I say, things are going to get sporty really quickly.
What is that? I know that place, right?
And here is, again, piercing the veil. This is Marius's.
Oh no. No. Why is this? They're dead. Like, it just happened. Like I remember.
This is the moment I found you, bundled and crying, while our parents died.
Viate. You're not here. You can't be here.
I am dead, Viate, from the Dream Scourge. We are in the garden. As strange as this seems, it is normal here. What I am now is much better than what I was becoming then. That much is certain.
Oh, I have faced this already. Why force me to do it again? Then for the gods' sake, what is it? I am exhausted, Viate. I can't take much more of this.
You know where we are. This is my memory. When everyone died, and I found you back in your tent. How much of this do you remember? I can't tell from your eyes.
We dealt with Razvan. He got what was coming to him.
Good. And when he arrives here, he will have me to deal with. Sapadal wants to understand. They know your envoy very well, but not the people next to them.
I have what I needed. We dealt with Razvan. We avenged our parents' deaths.
Then maybe it was I who needed to speak with my Viate. With a clear mind this time. Even when we were children, you kept me alive, first by needing my protection, and then by being who you turned out to be. When you left Solace, it was like I lost more than my best friend. I lost my need to live.
I know. And I'm not sure I'll ever live that down. I don't think I know how.
You've always done everything you could to survive. It's time for you to learn how to live.
So, what do we do now?
They're right, Viate. This lava flows directly between us.
We've both been through so much. But I can see that it's all behind us now. Just another thing we've survived after all this time.
A fine way to put it. I see it too. You've come a long way from that scared boy who refused to wear shoes for fear a bug might crawl out of it.
That was you, Nimdut. Look at my feet. Shoes. Kamayu.
Get out of here. Hike up your waistline and go talk to a god. They'll be waiting.
Well, it was...
So, not all the interactions here have to be bad. This was a good point of closure.
Take care of my
two.
little friend, Envoy. He needs you more than he'll say.
Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of exploring around here because there are a couple other things we want to look at. Including the next piece of the Windwalker set. So this has plus 1% critical hit chance and critical hit chance of a 15% chance to root the enemy in place. Now, the plus 25% critical damage here is really nice. The 1% critical hit chance would be replaced with this. So it's giving up critical hit damage for a chance to root the enemy in place. I'm going to actually change over these from the Trickster's Gloves. You'll see it proc. It tends to, in my experience, it tends to proc a little bit more than what it says. I'm sure it doesn't, but it sure seems like it does. I'll say that. So you'll see enemies get rooted in place quite a bit as we go through this.
Keep quiet.
I'm going to take out the wizard here first.
Nice job!
I moved right back into it.
Another glorious battle.
I'm just gonna wait for that poison to run out. It's almost done anyway. Now we'll take another basted beast. And go search this area here. This is that location that we looked at from the other side. Okay, so now this is the way that you can use to get back to the camp. You can see it up there at the top of my mini-map on the left. This is a way for you to get back to that camp. So if you need to go back and make some more food or replenish some things, then you have a way back to do it. And this is the Megfault Graveyard. Now, there you can see a couple of Megfolk. Okay, so we're going to get into a fight here. Do not be afraid to retreat a little bit, to back up during this.
Stay on your toes.
Because this won't be easy. Okay, this one again is damaged. I'm going to change out to the Eye of Rimmergrand as well. See? Rooted him in place. And I need to back up and find cover here. One more. And now you can see the second one's active. It's also damaged. I'm staying back here for a reason. Because of that attack that you just saw. They have a shoot lasers out of their eyes attack that is really damaging, so you want to be behind cover when they do it. So let's look at what we have available. So thinking the fighter, we still need one more rank of constant recovery, so after taking damage slowly regenerate 100% of the last amount of health lost. Okay, and now you can see we've got some switches. And you can see that that's one of two around this. Here's the Ring of Amplification. Power attacks cause larger hit reactions. This is actually good, especially if you're a melee build, because it causes them to flinch more, basically. Ashfall's Legacy, definitely don't want to get rid of. Critical hit chance increasing with total wealth, I definitely don't want to get rid of. But if you're a melee character especially, this is a really good ring to have. You can interrupt attacks a lot more with that, and it takes them longer to recover from those interruptions. So now I have to remember where this one is. I think it's down. Yep. Okay, and that's the way you're going to end up going for the main quest. I'm going to continue down around this way first.
Thomas Cairn? What's that doing here?
You seen this too? No. No. This can't be.
Huh. I can see the keep from here.
Something about this place makes me feel so small. This room, it looks just like Tama's. Tama. No. I dealt with this. We stood at his memorial together. What is this, Envoy? This is your god's prison, not mine. I can't tell. I can't focus on his face. His features keep blurring, changing. As long as we're both seeing the floating islands and the ghostly tree, I can't blame this on drugs. To be honest, that would be easier. I know it's him, but I don't recognize him as the Tama I knew. It's like he keeps changing in front of me. Does that make sense? That's the problem. I can't picture him anymore. I used to remember his face so clearly from that night. His rigid jaw, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners. He was in pain, but trying to hide it. I see everything. All his moments at once. Joy, sadness, anger, heartbreak, stomachache. Everything from the handful of years that I knew him and the decades before we'd met. He's almost a stranger. Yeah, it is. All this time I kept him frozen in his worst moment. When he was suffering and when I failed him. But now that I see him as more, it's like he's free of that. You're right. I am. It's like you said. His memory is no longer a burden. For the longest, I was afraid to let go of this moment, like I'd be letting him go if I did. Now I see I was just holding on to something that was weighing us both down. Better than I could have said it. I never thought I'd meet someone I respect the way I respected Tama. But you've made some tough calls, and you've kept your head and your heart in the right place. So whatever comes next, I'm with you until the end. Now let's go find this god of yours and end the Dream Scourge. When we reach them, what do you think we'll find? A victim? A villain? I suspect you're right. Let's end this. I'll follow your lead, as always.
Okay, so we can do a little searching around here. Okay, and we'll open this up. Because here, we now have access to this switch. And you can see down there, another one. And we'll be seeing more of those here in a little bit. Okay, now this door is the one that we just opened a little bit ago. Okay, we've gotten 2 out of the 3 here. And there is the 3rd. And here we have Wayfinder. So Wayfinder is a one-handed spear. A full combo attack deals high stun to nearby enemies, and it's really high. If you're going for, again, your one-handed melee builds, this is more of a movement-based, I should say, a one-handed build, because the power attack with a spear moves you forward to land an attack against an enemy. It's not, you're not standing in the middle of everybody power attacking. You can, but the intent with this is that you move forward with it and you hit them with the power attack. And then you can dodge back out of the way. Wayfinder's really good at doing that because you can now do that from a very long distance away. And the upgrade to this allows you, well, you'll see it if you want to go for it, but it's a really, really good weapon for a specific type of build.
Stand back.
Okay, and now we'll continue on this way.
Coming in hot.
And we're going to drop a save here.
Oh, no, you don't!
I'm stuck. Alright.
We make a good squad.
So, knew there was an ambush there. And that always makes it easier.
Here it comes.
Okay, so over here we can knock this out. We can drop this on the ground. And there is the sarcophagus key that we picked up. Okay.
Incredible.
So now that's the direction that we're going to go, eventually.
It wasn't so dangerous.
We're not going to do it yet, though. Okay, this is where we came in. And now you can see what this door opened. Because now we're back where Giatta... Not that, where Giatta was. And now we have access back to the area that has the sarcophagus in it. And now I just have to remember where it is. Right down here. And here has Spirit Mender. Spirit Mender is the ultimate caster armor. It's medium armor too, which is pretty good. But the plus 100 maximum essence is a big boost to any build, even if you're focused on essence. But 2% of your attack damage is restored as essence. Think about the attack damage that you might be doing with a spell. If you're doing 2,000 damage with a spell, which is not out of the ordinary at all, you're actually going to be doing quite a bit more with than that on certain power attacks, but 2,000 damage, 10% of that is 200, so 1/5 of that is 40. So every attack that you land is going to be getting you 40 essence back. So that would be 20% of the essence that I have right now with my build for every attack that lands. So this is a free spell casting armor is basically what it is. There are times, especially with your high damage abilities, that you will run out of essence using it, but your regular wand attacks and all of that sort of stuff, forget it, you're never going to run out of essence again. Okay, so now we're gonna go have a fight here, but we're not going to do this fair. Why would we ever fight fair? Okay, and there's Strangled Audra here. We'll deal with that here in a second. Okay, so there's a Chanter, a Ranger. We're going to get rid of the Chanter first. Hold it. Here's the next wave. Priest down there.
Here we go.
Oh, geez, what was that movement?
Left, left.
Where's the priest at? Okay, that's not him. There he is. And we'll take a grog to get rid of the poison.
Take a moment, people.
Alright. A pretty big fight there, but nothing that I needed to really buff up for. Since I was safe throughout most of that. So the quest marker's wanting us to get up. So let's do some explorations around here first. And can't do that from here. I have to do that from up there. I think. Let's see where that is. I go down through there. I'd be up here. Yep.
Stand back. Coming in hot.
Okay, so let's break down some of this stuff. Okay, now this is our way out. Okay, so now we'll head down here toward this edge, and we got a couple of things that we can look at. Okay, and then you can see we got some stuff above us here, including a chest that's up there. We're going to be able to get to all of that here in a minute. And here is inevitability buried in the skull of a Megfolk. So inevitability, damaging enemy gives you plus 3% damage reduction for 8 seconds and 20% power attack damage to enemies with low health. That's where this really shines. It allows you to do your finishers and have them be a lot more effective. But again, for me, doesn't really matter all that much, since I'm not going after a two-handed build. And here's the ancient memory.
We have been here. We were here all the yesterdays before. The sun rises and sets. Time is mud. When were you born? When were we? We cannot say. We feel no spark of the Tibaris Inachus in this place. We cannot see it through their eyes. We slumber here, alone. The deer, the owls in our trunk, they took it all away. A tide of souls thrown upon the wheel. The ground gives way. We fall. Now our memory is a wound reopened. They came suddenly. The stillness of night split by grinding steel. We had no time to speculate. First, they blinded us. Shining eyes pierced the concealing dark. Then they burned. Smoke ensnared the moonlight. The Akita screamed. No! We saw a terrible design in the roaring flames. They had carved a path to the temple. We were their true prey. A jug to catch water. We overflowed. We persisted. We were everywhere. How could they cull the wind? How could they trap the stars? Then they turned to what the Akita had made. They toppled the statues. They set the libraries ablaze. They could not kill us. They would curse us to oblivion. The Akita howled. They died. We cried out, sundered soul by soul. We broke the earth, called down the storm, flung lightning from our hands. But they marched on. We grew tired. In fury, we exposed ourselves. Weakened, they advanced on us, they struck. They raised machines, we tried to tear down the garden's walls. Then, nothing. We floated in a great glass eye. The fog closed in on us. We reached out, but the machines held us in. We could not feel the new day's sun play in the shifting tide. The cities crumbled. We could not save them. We could not save ourselves. Their cries, swords in our heart, a severed limb. We watched helplessly for aeons, until you. A chill wind. Our branches shudder. We do not think of this. The wound numbs now. We watch as the river of time expands. In the silence of our prison, we find clarity. How many voices lost? How many saplings have we cut down? We sink into the endless night. Perhaps we should be here. We are the rain, the swaying grass. What do they have to fear? We speak, though we are bound. Perhaps our soul was always free. The soil stirs. We have a new memory of this place. You opened the final lock, entered the hidden glade. You listened. You stand at a cliff now. We watch your footsteps carefully. We twine together. We reach for the sky. We grow. We grow. We grow.
Okay, and for that I'm going to get the Remembrance of Sapadal. So this is a passive. Your health constantly regenerates when you're below 50%. It's not a huge regeneration, but it does regenerate to help you stay alive a little bit longer in those fights. And now here we have 2 more Meg Folk. I want that one back there occupied. And now I need Marius. To get him so that I can finish him off.
Next one's mine.
There's that power attack I told you about. He's on the other side.
This is it for me.
Oh, and I got the root in place right before I used my ability.
Nice shot. Be right with you. Glad that's over.
So now you can see we're definitely getting 2 at a time, and it's only going to get worse because these have all been damaged. Megfolk. We're going to find pristine versions of them, and then, like I say, things really are going to start to get sporty. So let's make our way up now. Remember, we still do have one companion encounter for piercing the veil to do. Here you get the 3rd piece of the Wild Walker set. Slowly regenerate up to 50% of your maximum health. So we already got that, basically. This is just a slower version of the passive ability that we already got. But if you're playing against Sapadal here, then this is a way to get that same regeneration, just admittedly a slower version of it. Almost so proc that. Oops. How about we drop a save here? Since I'm parkouring around my death here. Okay, I don't think I want to go that way. I'm trying to remember which way I want to go here.
Right behind you.
Actually, I do want to go that way, I think. Because they're above me. But that chest is below me. And you don't need the eye to get across there. And here's the last piece of the Wild Walker set. The Wild Walker boots gives you plus 4 dexterity and plus 10% dodge distance. Well, I'm wearing the Storm Dancer, which is that plus 10% shock damage for 10 seconds after dodging. This would give me an additional 2% critical hit chance, as well as the additional dodge distance. So I think I'm going to change over to this as well. I don't think there's anything underwater here.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll head back up the way we were going, around the corner here, and we're going to get into another fight. And here we have a damaged Megfolk that is fighting against a skeleton. We'll let them just fight it out. He's not going to win that. But we'll let him damage the Megfolk as much as he can.
Quiet as the depths.
Just so that we don't have to fight two at once. And I can't remember if once that fighter dies, if more skeletons spawn or not. So, I'm gonna let this fight play out here. I mean, I'll give the skeleton some props. He's hanging in there. Yeah, it's that, it's his shield that keeps coming back. That's what's letting him stay in the fight, is that shield that keeps regenerating. So now that he's got his... Okay, so no more skeletons are spawning. Once his stun was almost all the way up, I just jumped in and got the stunning blow there.
I was just getting warmed up.
This is the library from my dreams. It's real? Look at all these tablets. Actual written records. Oh, somebody pinch me. That Garlowain's gonads. Envoy? I never told you this, but I've dreamed of this place every night for most of my life. This is a godless library. An actual, real-life godless library. It's why I study the godless, because this place has haunted me since I was a child. And that's the chair. It's the picture of coziness. I do love your idea of hiding out, Envoy. Finally, you've arrived. Ah, there it smells. That took 10 years off my life. Wait. You must be the librarian from my dreams. Oh, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Oh, though, you do look quite familiar.
You could be twins. Except your hair's better.
It has been quite some time. Too many years to number. Of course. You are an ancestor? A very fashionable one at that. No, child. We are the keeper of these tablets. Or have you already forgotten? Oh, of course. I was you in a past life. Oh, I'm such a fool. You lived with animancers, and yet the idea of awakening to your past lives never entered your mind?
This is definitely sounding like one of Giatta's ghost stories.
I was the last of the Akita. Once the attack started, a few of us were charged with preserving as much of our history as we could. So we retreated with as much as we could carry. The attacks? You must mean the Magfolk attacks. Yes, we've heard. Is that the reason for the bodies outside? Yes. Your monstrous gods, who bought their divinity with blood and the souls of their faithful. They tried to butcher every last one of us. They did in the end. But they didn't get exactly what they wished for. I made sure of that. But how did the Magfolk reach you in here? They didn't. Between the screams of my kin being slaughtered and the screeching of the Magfolk, I couldn't breathe. That's the screeching I heard in my dream, Envoy. I knew I recognized it when we killed that magfolk. Once it was gone, there was nothing left. And perversely, I found the quiet worse. So I decided on another way. One that wouldn't give your gods the satisfaction. Poison? Well, at least you washed it down with some good wine. You're not helping, Envoy. Yatzli, you know what you must do now. I abandoned my duty to protect our history, but you... Someone must tell the story of the Akita, and there is no one else. I'm already an expert. What more do you want me to do? Think about it, Yatzli. You have been training to be the new protector of this collection since childhood. I couldn't ask for a better successor. But that was your duty. I have my own dreams. Yatzli, if you do not become the new librarian, there will be no other. The stories of the Akita will turn to dust, and my people, our people, will be forgotten. Just as the burned queen wanted all along, when she sent her magfolk to choke the life from us. This is all too much. What do you think, Envoy?
So Yatzli has a lot of options to go through for her end story. There isn't anyone else who can do this. She could become the librarian. She could go meet back up with Ringrim and become her apprentice, or she could go back and spend her time with Fiora, with Kalichi. So there's a lot of stuff here that she can do.
I'm already intrigued. You don't need to lay on the guilt, Envoy. I'm so glad that one of Sapadal's chosen stands with you, Yatzli. Our time is at an end, Yatzli. It's time for me to go. Wait! I've not even asked you any questions! Tell me about your marriage rights. Oh, did you mean for all your buildings to look so phallic? Unfortunately, my time is at an end. You must keep Yatzli alive. She is the last hope of the Akita. So this is goodbye. I wish we could have... No. I wish that all of you had a better ending. Choose well, Yatzli. And good luck. She's gone. Forgive me, Envoy, but we should get going. We can talk back in camp. Later.
So that's going to complete pulling back the veil. Okay, that was the last of our companion interactions that we needed to have. And now all we have left is the main quest line itself. And for that, we head up here. Okay. Now, from here...
Right. You can go first. I'll stay here and watch your back.
I'm starting to think.
Okay, so that switch is going to turn off these first two. That switch is going to turn off those three. And the ones down here that we're going to get to in a second. And we have some paths opening up for us here. And the brooch is spreading flame. So your fire damage has a 50% chance to jump to nearby enemies. It would be great if that was earlier in the game where your elemental damages were doing some amount of appreciable damage. Right now they just aren't doing hardly any damage anymore. So it's not really worth it.
I need a bit of jerky in it.
Here we have the
Let's
second
take a moment here.
camp. And this is going to be a good spot for us to end the live stream today. I'm just going to look around here real quick. I don't think there's anything down here. There's not. You see now where we are. This is down where the other camp is. Don't think there's anything else up here. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can do any more upgrades.
There's always a weird sort of quiet on the eve of battle. I'm feeling that now. Seems like a good time to gather our thoughts and share a drink before whatever's coming.
Right. This seems like a perfect place to stop and relax.
Though it's hard enough to tell what's real here without a belly full of drink.
Sounds like you're nervous, dearie.
I'm feeling all kinds of ways. Anxious, excited, scared, hungry.
I feel it as well. It is only mortal to feel overwhelmed in the presence of the immortal.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. Getting to see that vision of Tama did me good. Like, I finally let go of something I'd been holding too long. Now that we're here, I'm eager to see this through. Nothing worse than holding your breath and waiting. I can't say that I'm prepared, but I'm ready.
Had a feeling you might ask me that. I'm not sure I've really worked through what I've seen here, but I am grateful for the chance to see Yonku again. I feel like we're almost done with all of this, but we are in the weirdest place in the world, so who knows? I'm completely baffled, but when haven't I been lately? Being afraid doesn't even feel scary anymore.
I think so. The garden is so much more than I expected. Full of contradictions. Wild, yet serene. Truthfully, I didn't come all this way searching for my own answers. But I found them. Or perhaps they found me. And now, it's like there's a new path laid out before me. A life after the Dream Scourge. We're close to something. A threshold between calm and crisis. Conflict and peace. Life and death. So am I. None of us could have gotten this far on our own.
Well, I won't lie to you, Envoy. A lot's happened. It's not every day that you learn that you're the last hope to carry on a legacy, but... well, here we are. Never literally talked to myself before either. I think I annoyed her. Me? Oh, I think I need another drink. But here we are. I just need a moment to take it all in. Thank you, dearie. I'll be ready by the time the fun starts. And I wouldn't worry. Our little group here is perfectly frightening, and I'm sure our enemies would agree. We'll be fine. I can't speak for anyone else, though.
You've listened to all of us. How about you? You've been through a lot since you arrived. You've been shipwrecked and assassinated, harangued by gods, bureaucrats, and a death guard. You've had your soul poked, your loyalties questioned, and your sleep regularly interrupted by a god with no respect for privacy. And yet you've kept yourself and all of us together. How are you really doing?
You're very resilient. Under different circumstances, I would credit your nature as a godlike. But we all know better. You're strong enough to survive anything. Sappadal picked a good soul when they made you.
That actually made sense to me. As if I've learned something about souls and whatnot.
I'll take that as a compliment.
How about you, Envoy? What keeps you so stoic in the face of everything?
Perhaps you don't need to understand. Your natural instincts are working hard enough.
When we first met, I didn't think you'd last long. But then I saw how you handled that dream thrall bear. Shook off your own death like a bad cold. And then you hunted your own killer and put him down. It takes a hard head or a thick skull to face something that almost ended you once.
I didn't know much about you at that point. You were traveling with Kai and you died, which I thought made a lot of sense.
I remember your calm. How you listened to my shouting match with the governor and actually heard me. You saved my city and gave me a home. A sanctuary where I could be myself. I'll never forget that.
You were my hero right away. You rescued me from those sporlings. You got my priceless vase. What more could a girl ask for?
And now look at you. Look at us. How far we've come in a short time. Quite a lot, as it turns out. But the journey is worth it.
Not to raise the sails before the anchor, but we left trouble in our wake. Fjord, Thirdborn, Solace. If we make it out of here, it won't be to a living lands suddenly at peace.
Just this once. Could we forget about the rest of the living lands? Some of us could use a break.
That doesn't mean it's Giatta's scary story time, does it?
I thought my stories were insightful.
If we can't take a moment to ourselves on a floating island outside reality, then I don't know where we can.
Right. We could all use some beauty rest. We'll want to look our best on the battlefield, won't we?
Before we turn in for the night, I'd like a word in private. Nothing serious, just planning out the rest of my life.
Get some sleep.
And we are going to have conversations with everybody, but we're not going to do that yet. We'll start out next week doing that. What we are going to do is craft everything up. And see if we can do any more upgrades. So we can upgrade Heaven Strike. We already have our armor upgraded. Yes, we do. We'll send that to camp here in a second. Don't think we'll be able to do Character Pride fully. No. We're still a few glasswood branches short. Okay. And that gets us, like I say, a great point for us to drop a save. So next week, I'm thinking I've got to be at a business conference this week, so I'll have a short week to prepare for next weekend, but I think there might be a change in how we do the ending to this live stream. We don't have 3 hours left in this live stream. So I may do a back-to-back live stream on Saturday next week, just to finish this out, and then have a break on Sunday before we get into the demo live stream. So I'll kind of look at it when I get back this week and see. So pay attention to social media and the post tab to see if I put out anything about a schedule change on what we're going to do at the end of this. But next week will definitely be the ending of this live stream series one way or another. So as always, thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you, especially my channel members and my supporters here. Thank you very, very much for all of the support. As I always say, without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.